you were listening to the cries of the people, you would have said something different. Timothy, every time I go to the supermarket, Timothy, I have to buy a tin of milk from it's begging all around Castries. You understand? When you finish, you want to talk about, to ridicule people when they will talk about the cost of living. Man, come on the ground, walk around Castries, walk around St. Lucia, and feel the frustration of the people. That is what you have to do. Don't have two or 6 or 10 policemen come in and meet you at your home, one escorting you down, and you're not on the ground with the people. Be on the ground with the people. Right? Look at the state of roads in St. Lucia. There's a road you pass on every day, Philip J. Pierre. That's the Waterworks Road. When you're heading to Chaussee there, look at the state of that road. You are passing there every day. All I have to call is a Prime Minister Sargu. Stop ridiculing people. When people say things that is affecting them, you need to sympathize with people's feelings. It's hard, it's tough in the country. And like I said yesterday, wait for that 2.5 to creep in. People are going to really see the state of things in the country. That is what I'm not condoning people when they're doing crime and whatnot. But to see a young man there, he have his woman, he have his child, he have what? Things are rough. What do you expect him to do? What do you expect him to do? Listen to the cries of the people and stop ridiculing people. I feel you spend too much time representing ghetto people. And all politicians like you are again getting re-elected. You know why? Because on constituency days, there are young men and young women that could come to your office and say, boss, my milk finished, boss, my child pampers finished. That is what? That's on the basic people like you getting re-elected over and over. You, Philip J. Pierre, it's not because of no soft heart or anything you have towards the people of the country. That is why the last time when they broke an entrance, they took petty cash, they took that. That's what you're all using on the people. You're manipulating that on them, just because they could come to your office, constituency day, boss, my child have milk, boss, my child have pampers, my gas finished. Stop ridiculing people, Philip Pierre. Be a man. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much. And by the way, this is the comment that the Prime Minister made at his town hall meeting on Tuesday evening, which has so riled up this caller.
The cost of living that they always make a big fuss about, the price of everything going up, and what the government is doing, all of them, short and tall, what the government is doing, how can we reduce, why is the cost, why the cost of goods going up? And and they get personal and do all kinds of things.
This ought not to cause anybody who is tall or short to cower. Those people who are speaking about the high cost of living in St. Lucia, that is the reality. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Good afternoon, you're on the air.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
Tim, you had a very wonderful show last night. And as the former Prime Minister, and when you look at the one is in government right now, I believe he's falling short, Tim. As Prime Minister of this country, Philip J. Pierre, in my opinion, to me, this guy is not looking rested. He doesn't know what he's saying. And all how I look at it in this country, Tim, instead we try to move one step forward, we're going one step backward. Now, 2 years in power, I compare leadership in this country. When I listened to your show last night, and I look at our former Prime Minister, this is a man that cut for leadership. But I have to blame our very own self in St. Lucia. Because when things was going in the right direction, I believe we were fooled by lies, and going to the polls, they went and voted the St. Lucia Labour Party. And the victory again for the St. Lucia Labour Party, they were surprised because they didn't know they would have won all that seats. And then you had two so-called independent candidates, okay? And I don't know what deal went on. Now this guy is in the St. Lucia Labour Party cabinet. And when you look at the Millennium Highway, Tim, the road there is pretty bad. And Mr. King is in charge of infrastructure. And in my opinion, that Millennium Highway should have been completed as we speak. And Tim, you realize that bridge that gun they got from the Japanese. It's almost a year since they completed it, and they hand over the government of St. Lucia, the bridge, and just to do the other part by putting the road intact. The infrastructure ministry, which comes under the Stevenson King, has yet to deliver him. And what I could recall when he was in government, in the Alan Shastney government, you know what surprised me? This man wasn't doing anything at all. Now, 2 years in the Labour government, you can't do nothing to give St. Lucians ease up on the roads because people cars are mashing up them. I heard bus drivers, the minibus association complaining. And you're still taking the 150, from, in the pumps. And you can't fix up a road. And they're lying so much and saying they didn't have anything in the how they call it, that box where they put these monies and stuff like that. I want to tell Mr. Pierre, stop that tactics and trying to fool the lowest class people in this country. I believe they understand, and I listened to Mr. Alan Shastney, the former Prime Minister, and I understand exactly where the money spent. And you could go all over where those projects were happening, and who stopped it? Who stopped it? The St. Lucia Labour Party stopped all projects because they didn't care about the citizens of St. Lucia. They don't care about the people that visit in St. Lucia. When you look at the view for two Castries, going into Grosley, all in these areas have hotels. This is not a shame for my country, Tim. I am calling on the Prime Minister to spend our money in the right way. Tim, I have so much to say, but let me just take a little breather, and next week I will come out and I will expose some of these people that getting a salary and they're not doing the work, Tim. Thank you.
Next week, God's best, sir. Thank you so much for calling. WhatsApp message. Being an enemy of the state is a remark made by the Nazi party Adolf Hitler towards the Jews, and many Jews were sent to the gas chambers. These remarks are geared towards shutting up people who may not be supportive of the government policies, and they should be made to shut up or face the consequences. Let's continue with your calls at 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello. Good afternoon, Mr. Poleon.
Good afternoon, sir.
And everybody else listening on the show. I'm not a UWP and I'm not a Labour. I'm just for the country. Whoever's leading it, I pray for them and hope that they do the best they can. But that statement that he made there, I don't know if he's taking prime ministership as a joke. That's not a joke job when you make statements like that. I'll be very quick. And by the way, Solutions know Hyatt is back. Hyatt is back. You remember the last hotel before Sandals up north was? Under the Labour Party government, Kenny Anthony, 80 million. Hyatt is back. Secret hotel. Old Morgan Bay. Check it out. I'm out.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Kimani, anything in the chat room to report on?
Someone is asking, where is the lockbox? Another comment, the PM is insensitive, not because he and his family do not feel the pinch of the economic situation in the country, that he has to ridicule the citizens. Another comment, it's time politicians in this country put country before self to better the lives of all citizens in the country. Tim, that's an enemy of the party, maybe even an enemy of the government, but the state? The government is not the state because they change every 5 years anyway. Someone says, meanwhile, PJP is talking about when the loan finish. Another comment in the chat room, someone says, both parties are the same, SMH. That's it.
Thank you so much. A call. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, good afternoon, caller.
Tim, it's been a long time I've been trying to get the line.
Finally, sir.
Let me just tell you, the government came in their campaign, the leading government came in their campaign saying that people weren't taking roads. So I don't know why we're complaining that the roads are so bad when we knew for sure that they had already said that people are not eating roads. They would not be spending money on roads. So that's just what we voted for. That's the results of what we voted for. Tim, a few days ago, I heard Richard Frederick come out and blame DCA in that the past chairman Clem Bob about the development in Soufre in the Peters area. Tim, you know, when politicians come out and they make statements, they make it just at the point where they figure out it will do damage to somebody else and not to the entire crop of persons that were involved in that development. Tim, when the guy from Canada bought the land, he bought it. Everybody knew that when he bought the land, he bought it with the intention to build. He was not buying it just as an investment, because that would not have been an investment for him to just buy land and sit down doing anything. So he went to the government of the day, which was the Labour Party, and he bought the land. They had a cabinet conclusion that gave him permission to buy the land. They gave him aliens holder's license. They gave him an already approved thing that he could have built. So when DCA sat on that document to decide whether they build or not, it was a very difficult task for DCA. I was on the board at the time. So to blame Clem Bob is not correct. We had a very difficult time because already there's a cabinet conclusion that gave him permission to build. And so we were going through ways to see how we could stop him or even deter him from building. When we came to a conclusion where he had to dig a certain depth to be able to build that you wouldn't see the house from the sea. So we gave him approval with certain conditions, which he adhered to. Any other thing that has happened on that site, which I heard Richard talking about, the man sent an application for a second building. That would not be on Clem Bob. That would be on the new board who had to approve for that second building. But for the one building that was built, it was a house that was already there that we gave he wanted to reconstruct. So we gave approval for that. And we did not go a lot bigger than what it was. It went a certain size more than that. And that's just what it was. So to be blaming Clem Bob, I think Richard Frederick needs to stop sometimes, because he sometimes I think it's an ego thing for him. You understand? He needs to stop. All the things that he's doing now, speak about it. Those that has been done before, if you don't want to speak of how it started, don't just come in the middle and say, yes, it was Clem Bob who did it. Yeah? Also, Tim, I just want to speak about that new area where HUDC is putting a new office. Tim, you could believe an entity saying they have no money. They got to sell a piece of land for some money, and at the end of it all, they took all the money, bought a property, and spent so many thousands of dollars to renovate that property just to try and bring all modernized. And you have no money, so why didn't you go in try to retrofit the building? Go in there, do what you had to do for a little bit, and then when you make some money to retrofit the building, they spend all that money. So it leads me to think that there was more money involved in this deal, or there was a lot of money that went into wastage just to give the boys a job. Tim, we need to stop that attitude in St. Lucia. You know, I don't know why government believe that they have to have all these fancy and nice buildings when they have no money. You have a building, put it up to date, put it as a building that meets the minimum requirement, and all that fancy thing. Most of them fancy things that they put in that cost a lot of money to maintain. That the building that Richard Frederick has just renovated, it's a concrete building. He go and put plywood on the outside of that. Next 2 years we have to go back and move that plywood because the weather it wouldn't go nice with it. So I mean, if you're gonna upgrade a building, you upgrade it and make it maintenance free. But you're not putting it in a way that next 3 years you have to come back and give the boys a job again. I mean, these are the kind of things that's happening in St. Lucia. Nobody says anything. Last night I listened to your show. Some of the freaks were calling and asking the past Prime Minister some questions that I don't hear them asking of the present Prime Minister. Because the present Prime Minister is doing so much wrong in his position, in his seat. Look at a typical example. When he spoke about the St. Jude's Hospital, and he said that the St. Jude's Hospital, the entire project would have finished in 2028. He said he never said that. So we spewing lies and we saying that's not what that's what he said. I mean, a big man like you couldn't even go back and look at the tape to ensure that this thing you were going to say now is exactly what you said on the day when you were getting the money. I mean, that's and you don't want people to call the man liar, but what he said there is a terminological inexactitude. And that's just what it is. The same lie you don't want people to call him, but that's the same thing the man going all around the place. I mean, we have a Prime Minister. Nobody speaks to the Prime Minister and say, boss, are you always making a faux pas? Today when you're going on there, I mean, we got to coach you. Let's rehearse this thing. Let's make sure that, because it doesn't just make him look bad, you know, Tim. If it makes him look bad only, we go to that, you know. But it makes all of us on island, all of us St. Lucians, and to a certain extent the Caribbean people, it makes us look bad. So we need either for him to shape up, or for him to get somebody to do the job for him. Because Tim, that is embarrassing. Every time he goes on the TV, you have to be wondering, oh boy, what faux pas will he be doing now? Oh boy, he's on the TV. I don't even want to watch because I know another one is coming. That's how we want to be living, Tim. Tim, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. Still to come, we have a whole lot more, including somebody who's very critical of how the government is handling the economy, and in particular, its decision to impose a 2.5% levy on the people of St. Lucia. You are listening to the broadcast on Power 97.9 FM. We are on YouTube and the NewsSpin Facebook page.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
There is only one option when they arrive. Our services will make the dead look alive. With Bouteille and Beaufort accessibility. Remember, we have the only private cemetery. No one can match our prices from coffins to corsage. Personalized service you get when Lazarus takes charge. Quality service, no package to make your wallet bleed. Lazarus is your true friend in your time of need.
Introducing the new LuSelect Virtual Service Desk, where one click is your access to every service. From my account to streetlight reports, requests for payment arrangements to settle arrears, change of name and address. Easy online forms give you access from anywhere and at any time. Every service you need at your fingertips. Go to our website, luselect.com, and click on the Virtual Service Desk widget. LuSelect's Virtual Service Desk. Every solution at your fingertips.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay. Flow is keeping you connected.
Night Meds is your dependable neighborhood pharmacy. You'll notice that upon entry, you are greeted by caring professional staff, attentive to your every need. Your prescriptions are always treated with a high degree of confidentiality, and we pride ourselves on providing speedy, efficient service. We carry a wide array commonly requested over-the-counter products, and our prices are very competitive. We offer blood pressure testing, blood sugar, and cholesterol testing. We're open to fill your prescriptions Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come visit Sadu's gas station on the Miku Highway or call us at 572-6840 or WhatsApp 461-6840 for more information. Night Meds Pharmacy. We are your community med store.
Automotive Art is a place to start.
Automotive Art is now bigger and better with bargains galore. Automotive Art has expanded. With new exciting products and increased shopping comfort, we welcome you to visit. Celebrate with us and take advantage of our specials. New tires starting at $129, 25% off all tools and accessories, up to 75% off rims, BOGO specials, car care bundles, and other bargains galore. Automotive Art, bigger and better.
We are protesting the rising food prices and the government's failure to address the hunger and distress of the unemployed.
So let's listen again. This is not the Prime Minister of 2023, but this is him in his capacity as a leader of the opposition, and rightly so, highlighting what he deemed to be a problem at the time: high food prices and high unemployment as well. Listen.
We are protesting the rising food prices and the government's failure to address the hunger and distress of the unemployed.
452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. And we have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Hello?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon, Tim. You remember just before COVID, there was a hotel that came down. They started building it by the canals, by the next to the honeymoon beach.
Mm-hmm.
That hotel was basically it was stopped during COVID because everything stopped. But it started after maybe about a year ago or so, maybe less than a year ago. It started over. But
what it necessitated? It necessitated the relocation of some homes.
No.
That's another project.
Beach that's the honeymoon beach area. I don't know if you know that area,
okay,
but it's on the east coast, southeast coast. The canals are lower the canals are go down to the fort.
Okay, what has happened to this?
That hotel, it's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying that because the Prime Minister said that no hotel started underneath the previous. But I'm saying that hotel is not hidden. Everybody from the area knows about it. There's so many people working there right now. I mean, in the construction phase. And you coming on national TV saying now there's no hotel was started underneath the previous administration thing. That Prime Minister keep on saying the untruth. You don't want to use lies. I'll say the untruth. Every time he opens his mouth, he's saying something that is not true, but yet still, they have people sitting right in the congregation clapping for him. I am really wondering what's happening to our people. The other thing, Tim, I want to listen to open the eyes and remember, those who was at least 15 years and up during 1997 when Kenny Anthony came will remember that 95% or maybe more percentage of St. Lucia's taxes have been implemented underneath a Labour government. Okay? And every time we get a little tax break, it's underneath the UWP administration. Okay? Now the excuses that the Labour supporters will make for you. Oh, you have to pay taxes. They contribute money. You have to pay taxes to the point that it's running you dry. You understand? Not realizing you have taxes on gas that is so high when it could have been lower. Yet still you're going and increase to 2.5 again. You understand? These governments have, yes, I give them credit for putting hotels, but Tim, how much do we generate from hotels? We do not generate anything much from hotels. Most of it goes away. All that stays there is a little salary. These people barely support locals when it comes to, the only thing they'll buy from local is some local produce, not much, and some fish. But they're bringing in most of their thing. All they're doing is giving a little support there because they know they'll get criticized if they do not give that support. But the majority of their product comes from overseas. You understand? The salary that they are paying is not so much that somebody can really make something out of it. You understand? So really and truly, the same thing they're accusing of, you're putting our people in slavery. That's what you're doing. That's what hotel is. I worked in a hotel thing before. Listen, hotel work is nothing easy. You have to work like a donkey for the little money they're paying you. You understand? So at the end of the day, I need people to understand, to open their eyes and see who is really putting people first? When you have an administration that is passing the skin of people's backs, and then you want to tell me you're putting people first? How are you putting people first? You literally killing Viewport. Have you ever seen the Viewport port? The Viewport port holds about 3 times the amount of cargo that the Cashews port will hold, you know, thing.
Wow.
Because in Viewport, there's a large base in front of the port to put containers. You do not have to put containers one on top of the other there. Yes, still in Cashews, you have to put containers about 3-4 stories, 4 containers high. You understand? You do not have that in Viewport. Yet still you signing a deal that says that no other investor can touch Viewport port for 40 years. Really? And the so-called concerned citizens from Viewport, Dr. Reynolds and the others, you understand? I am not hearing from them. Don't tell me that can ever be good for Viewport. Right now, Viewport is a ghost town thing.
But what about V4? What about V4 that it appears it is so undeveloped, it is being ignored by so many governments? Why is that the case?
Like I've said, people, you might not want to believe me when I tell you that St. Lucia has been monopolized in the sense that the bulk of the development supposed to be done in Castries.
But why not develop? Why not develop the entire island?
But let me show you why, Tim. Business people in this country have more influence than we think. They have a lot more influence than you think. Because where you think those politicians getting their finances from?
From the business.
Campaign finances from?
Yeah. From big business, from the business community.
Exactly. Tim, if those fellas, I will not mention the name, that own all those big businesses, big malls and everything in Castries, were to have Viewport develop, what do you think will happen? The profit will be shed in. They will not be making what they're making in Castries right now and enough.
But they could open operations in the south.
But Tim, they don't want to do that. That's the whole idea. They do not want to do that. If they wanted to do that, they had already done that, Tim. Why you think most of them have not done it? Because they do not want to do it. Okay?
No, do you have a Southern Business Association?
What Southern Business Association? There's nothing alive in Viewport, Tim.
Oh my God.
Okay, there's nothing alive in Viewport. No association is alive in Viewport. Okay? Now, I am telling you, if these guys wanted to come down to the south, not now, they had already done it. You see what? Some of them, Tim, supported Alan Beef in 2016. And these very same business people turned against Alan in 2021. Why do you think that happened? It happened because they realized Alan was giving the south too much attention. And that would have been, that threatened them. That would have not been good for them. So they had to turn against him. They had to support the other side. As soon as the other side won, what did you see? Everything in the south went down again. But yet still, we have those people in the south that have never turned their backs on people. And they keep on to the thing like the other gentleman said. When Kenyan come in his office, everybody comes in there, down one of the gas tank, down one of this. I can tell you nothing about this. I was working at Massey Super J at the time. When the gentleman got into the store, a crowd of people was following him. I saw with my eyes once. You understand? Pulling monies out of his pocket. Look 20, look 10, look 15. You understand? You cannot do that to your people. You understand? You cannot do that to your people. You have to provide jobs for them. Every community needs to have a multi-purpose center. But does not have a multi-purpose center. You understand? They had a old library and all whole thing there. Oregon took they had to close it down. Loosely have to put the power in it. All they have left is a ICT center. You understand? Viewport is nothing, and yes, these people still carrying Kenny on their hand is a little god. Anyway, Tim, I have said enough.
Thank you.
I'm very tired of that.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. All right, let's see if we have another call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello? Hello, good afternoon. Okay, the caller is not on. Let's see if we can get another call. 452-2979. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, good afternoon to you, caller.
Yes. So, Tim, I'm calling with the hope of, elucidating our people where rights are concerned. And I followed your show last night with the leader of the opposition, and he made a very interesting point. It is something that most of us should have known, but he basically put it in layman's terms in terms of the Constitution. And what he was saying is that the Constitution is really a contract between the people and the government. Now, Tim, the little that you may know about a contract would tell you that for you to change a contract, both parties to that contract must agree to the changes or must participate in the changes. So how is it that we can have a change in this contract and we are told that, we don't have to participate? Our participation is not necessary because, the one party can do the changes on our behalf.
Well, in some cases, if, for example, the government has a 2/3 majority, it can undertake. No. We're not talking about contract. We're talking about in general. What can cause a government to take certain decisions without going through, let's say, a referendum? Okay, so if a government has a 2/3 majority, it can do that.
No, Tim. No, Tim. You know the UK Parliament. They do not have a written contract in the UK. The Parliament serves like the Constitution that we have, and they could not leave the European Union without going through a referendum. But we have a written
But those are two different issues that we're talking about there, Connor.
No, it's not different.
Those are two different issues. Those are totally two different issues. But I don't want to I don't want to expend my energy on something that where it will not be a fruitful exercise, caller. So I'll just allow you to make your point.
But Tim, you are a citizen as well. Are you not concerned about?
But I am telling you again, if the government has a 2/3 majority, sir, it can, in the case of, let's say, deciding that it does not have to go through a referendum to make the CCJ our highest court, it can do that, sir. That's what I'm saying to you.
That is absolutely incorrect.
Well, if it is incorrect, sir, again, I'm saying you should challenge the government on that. Just challenge the government on this. Don't want me to do anything. I'm just saying, if that is your perspective, if you're saying that I'm wrong, if you're saying that the government acted improperly, challenge the government on this issue. That's what I'm saying.
You know what the government will tell you, Tim?
Mm-hmm.
All laws are good laws until they are challenged. How many people in this country, have the capability to be able to challenge the government on every law that they pass?
Then what you should do is to encourage the legal fraternity, the St. Lucia Bar Association, to do something about those issues.
That is why I am...
Or have the government amend the Constitution, sir.
That is why I'm trying to get you to understand the rights. And when I say you, not just you and others. So more people can voice their opposition to what the government is doing. You cannot infringe on people's rights. We have accepted that. You cannot infringe on people's rights without their consent. That is your right.
But indirectly, with regard to the decision taken by the government on the CCJ, the people gave the government of St. Lucia the right. Indirectly with that kind of mandate.
There's no indirectly in that thing. You cannot sign a contract indirectly. You have to be present to sign the contract. You have to actively participate in that contract. Okay? So it is not about indirect. How did they do that indirectly?
Okay.
In what way?
Call my advice to you. Host a lecture at the Central Library one of those evenings, or at the Cultural Center or somewhere, and then we could discuss. I don't think that is a platform that you could use so much time to discuss that particular issue.
So I want to have a sit down with you, Tim, so we can go through the
But I'm giving you advice. I'm telling you, go to the Central Library, book some time there, 6:30 in the evening, on one of those occasions, and discuss the issue there.
When you'll be available.
No.
Give me a day when you'll
I'm
be
advising you to take your issue to the public square, and have it discussed. Who knows, I might just be in attendance. All right?
Have a good day, Tim.
You too, sir. Thank you so much. And I give you free advice. All right, 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. Let's see if you have another call. Let's try via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. You on the air?
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon to you,
Good afternoon, Tim.
Hi, good afternoon to you.
You heard me now a while ago.
Loud and clear.
A while ago, you were not hearing me.
I'm hearing you better now.
Okay.
Yes,
How
go
is
ahead.
Everything you good?
Yes, I'm okay. How about you?
Okay, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
I'm there, Tim. Tim, we're there crying for the people of Viewfort. Don't you see the people of the South, like Viewfort North, Viewfort South Lobby? They're happy with their reps.
Yeah, they're
You
happy.
understand?
Mhm.
They're happy. They're satisfied with that kind of life, the way they live in. They're happy with it.
That's not in doubt.
So whilst we're there crying for them, yes, that's what it is, because they keep voting the same rep over and over, and they're not seeing any progress. They're not seeing any change in their life. So that means they're happy with Kenny meeting them and giving them a $5, giving them a $30 to buy a tank of gas, and Alva giving them this day and a drink in a bar. They're happy with it. So I don't know why we want to worry about them. All the time they were making all the first concerned citizens. Where are they now? Where are the concerned citizens? All of them sitting down because all of them getting perks.
They are no
did
longer
their job to
hold
take
on.
out.
They are no longer concerned citizens. They are merely citizens.
They're satisfied because they did their job to get out the last government. So now they're satisfied because I'm sure all of them getting their perks and their contracts and everything like that. So they don't care. You understand? Because these people don't have the country at heart. Because look at, like the gentleman was saying earlier, look at the state of Viewfort. Look at the state of the South. Look at the state of Labrie. Look at the state of Viewfort North. And like I tell you, Tim, they're happy with it. They're happy, so I don't know why we hurting our head. That is what they're accustomed to for generations and generations come in, and the reps, it's the same thing. So leave the people in their happiness. Why we worrying about them? They don't need no pot. They don't need no hospital. They're happy how they are, Tim. You understand what I'm saying? Another thing I want to say, Tim, I just cannot get over that prime minister, the great divider. Everything that man says is to divide the country, to cause confusion. When you open your mouth in a town hall thing and calling people the shot and the tall, and then the people they're laughing. You understand? What prime minister? They can say what they want about Alan Chasney. You would never look at that. I was watching the press briefing yesterday for Alan Chasney. There was a big labor hack, so-called. He called himself reporter, and he was at you. You didn't watch it, Tim?
In between.
He was at Alan Chasney. He wasn't giving no other reporter a chance to talk. And he contradicting this and he there. And at no time did Spider, nor Chasney, nor the other UWP supporters who were there. Nobody never jailed him. Nobody thing him. You think a UWP, somebody they know like you, that they say you supporting UWP, you'd go into a Labour Party press briefing and get on like that? They would run you, Tim. They would even stone you, hit you, punch you. That's what they would do. You understand? And yesterday it was so annoying when the guy kept cutting across the Chasney, cutting across what's his name? Spider.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And yes, and not giving another reporter a chance. And I thought that Spider would have tell him, well, give another report. And he just continued rambling, trying to contradict what Chasney. But I like the way they handled him. You understand? They didn't go petty like our prime minister went petty at that thing there, calling people short and turn, all these kind of things. And you that's a prime minister that want to reunite the country. The great divider, I'll call him that again, Tim. But you know what? I'll say it again, St. Lucians. You all voted for what you all got. Open your eyes. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you so much. Kimani, the chat room. What is happening there?
Someone says solutions are only happy when it's them doing it, whether they are wrong or right. I suspect Tim have gain in that CCG. Do you, Timothy?
Absolutely no gain at all. I don't think it's a right forum to be discussing this particular topic, and also the timing. People were all quiet, people were all docile when the government took this matter before the parliament. A decision was taken, and it's basically after the fact. People are just reacting to what has already happened, and that is for the legal luminaries. To tackle from the perspective of trying to effect change before the courts have probably trying to get the government to reverse that decision, if it is possible. But for me to engage a member of the public on this subject matter, something that is academic in nature, something that is also very complicated, and for him to tell me, well, you are wrong in this particular issue, and it's a contract between the people and the government, when I'm making reference to the Constitution, because the Constitution is the supreme authority of the land. And if the government has a 2/3 majority and the government is saying, I can take this before the parliament and just have a vote, and I don't have to take it to the people, you cannot stop the government. You really can't stop the government on this particular issue.
Mm-hmm. Someone is asking, so when is the right time for this conversation?
Well, you could have various fora. We could have this exercise involving, as I said, your St. Lucia Bar Association. If you could influence the Attorney General, if you could, get his cooperation in discussing that issue at the public level. But don't tell me that this thing happened. Months in advance, the government gave notice of it. No one spoke about it. A decision has been taken, and now you want to engage me in this for what? For maybe half an hour every day, 45 minutes every day on NewsSpin? No.
Tim, change starts with one voice. There is nothing complicated about the issue. Another comment, someone says, this is so ironic. The South that supports the SLP at heart, yet they are being ignored by the very people they give their support to, SMH. Someone claims you thought people are lazy. That is why they are not saying anything. Someone is asking, we need a state-of-the-art hospital, a brand new airport, and a cruise ship port in Viewfort. Tim, all the people in that town hall with PJP don't feel the pinch of increased taxes. Another comment, in any democracy, there is a fundamental need for an opposition to keep all balanced and in due bounds. Someone says, seems some people in St. Lucia have problems with boxes, a lockbox, a hospital box. Imagine getting triggered by a box. And another comment, I don't care what political party you support, but enemy of the state is a bit much. The issue is that we are all politically too far left or too far right, and no one is willing to have a healthy conversation anymore on the issues. Someone says, even if he cannot stop government, he can still talk, Tim. Someone also claims a decision to go to the CCJ can still be stopped. St. Lucia is a democratic country. That is it in the chat room.
Thank you so much. Still to come, somebody speaks out against some of the policies of the government, and once again, its decision to impose a 2.5% levy on the people of St. Lucia. You are watching NewsSpin on our NewsSpin Facebook page, as well as on YouTube, and listening on Power 97.9 FM.
There is only one option when they arrive. Our services will make the dead look alive. With Bouteille and Beaufort accessibility. Remember, we have the only private cemetery. No one can match our prices from coffins to corsage. Personalized service you get when Lazarus takes charge. Quality service, no package to make your wallet bleed. Lazarus is your true friend in your time of need.
Lucilec aveti ou pour point précaution durant saison cyclone Salah. Mi an ti commission qui kaywen de ou protéger la vie ou ek propriétaire ou. Kouye Lucilec avant ou trim et ben couper pied bois qui poué ligne électrique. Veillez pour ligne courant électrique avant ou monter l'échelle. Fait assurer l'échelle, scaffold et bout d'outil ou ka servi pas vini moins qui 10 pieds hors ligne courant électrique. Pas jamais servi appliance et ben outils qui ka servi courant électrique. Des wall côté qui mouillé et ben en la pli. Ça c'était en commission hors Lucilec.
It all started with a penny For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Why pay full price for your mobile when you can pay half? Just bundle your home internet and mobile services with Flow and save 50% on your mobile bill. That's money in your pocket every month. Plus, now you get free YouTube and WhatsApp data. And you can share your plan with up to 3 other numbers. Upgrade now and get a free smartphone. Switch and keep your number. Learn more at discoverflow.co.
Get ready for the second annual Zouk a Blanc, presented to you by Project Chocolat, Saturday 30th September from 7 p.m. featuring St. Lucia's #1 band, DYP. The always exciting Ezra, the Fun Machine, and our finest DJ, Hollywood HP, and DJ Shocking. Savor an evening of elegance, souk, and old school rhythms in the heart of Soufrière at Project Chocolat. Secure your tickets for just $80. Grab yours at any sell outlets island-wide or at Mambo's Bar in Soufrière. Tickets are also available online. Zouk a Blanc, a touch of white, where island vibes and cuisine meets pure sophistication.
Admission $100 at the door.
The new home of the best country music is Power 97.9 FM.
Say the stars are bound to fade.
Switch us on Join Me, DJ Jerry, this and every Thursday from 8 p.m. till midnight for Country Gold, the best in country music.
Your bags are packed and waiting.
The new, the oldies, and the goldies. So let's make it a date. This and every Thursday with me, DJ Jerry, from 8 p.m. till midnight for Country Gold. If it's Thursday, it's Country Gold Thursday. Country Gold, only on Power 97.9 FM.
I lead a rich, rewarding life.
Automotive art is a place to start. Automotive art is a place to start.
Yeah, look, check. We got a wide range of products that are automotive and do-it-yourself supplies if you got a moment. Smart staff that'll always know it. Got rims and tires from trucks to high performance to off-roading. Start here, tools, batteries, oil, and car care.
Automotive art is a place to start.
This is a government that almost throws their hands in the air. There's nothing that they can do. These are all imported. But I want to remind people, it was the government who decided not to subsidize the gas at the pump. It's this government that allowed bus fares to go up. It's this government that doubled the price of cooking gas. It's this government that allowed the price of electricity to go up, particularly to the more vulnerable people in our society. And what they have done is they have now built inflation into our economy. And when we were making recommendations, the things that the government have are the VAT rate and the taxes and the duties. Now, how are you going to tell me, a time like this where people are suffering to the extent that they are, Tim, people are in pain in terms of the choices that they have to make in life, and you're there talking about, you recognize that there is inflation, and you're going to put on another 2.5% tax? Now, let's think for a moment. Let me tell you how incompetent this government is. This government had 2 years to think about implementing the tax. They came to the House, and at the last minute, instead of doing what they were going to do, which was have it increase the VAT to 15%. And you have to ask yourself the question, why is it that this government did not believe they could sell increasing the VAT to 15%? But instead, they want to fool the people. They tell them they're going to introduce a levy for health and security. Even though we pointed out at the time that the health budget went down by $10 million. So where's the money going to? And the falsity of it all, which is at our expense.
Here you are now, they've implemented it. They have to delay it now till October. Nobody knows how to implement the tax. And you don't believe that this compounded tax is going to have a catastrophic impact on the cost of living in this country? How can you reduce the cost of living by increasing taxes? Where on earth have you heard anybody think that they can do that? It's absurd. And it's time that people call this government for what they are. They are a bunch of jokers. They are bluffers. They lied their way into government. And they are laughing and benefiting at the expense of the people of this country. And they're putting the future of this country in jeopardy. And we all are going to have to wake up, because not only are they doing it economically, look what's happening with unemployment. If you want to resolve the cost of living problems in St. Lucia, give people jobs.
Leader of the parliamentary opposition speaking last evening on the DBS program News Make Alive. And that's Alan Shastney. We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Tim, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm okay, caller. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah. Tim, you said, I think there is a caller that called you from the south. I recognize his voice well. And he mentioned a couple of things in terms of the poor state of Beaufort and the poor development of Beaufort. You know, prior to 2021 election, I remember there was this particular community in Beaufort North known as Fokapesh. You heard that name before?
What's the name?
Fokapesh.
Fokapesh, yes, I've heard that name.
Now, these people, Tim, and this is serious what I'm telling you. I don't call this program to just say things, you know. I like to believe on the truth. I know the area very, as a matter of fact, I have families live in that area. The people there, ever since they have support the Labour Party. You know, potable water that people do not have in that area. There's potable water. And you know who gave these people potable water there? The candidate, Vincent London, with the help of Minister of Infrastructure, the same one, the snake, you know, with their help and all of them when he was flambeau. And for the first time in the history of Fokapesh, the people had water. Now it's a small community, almost about, barely about 40 persons there, but there are some houses, you know, living in that place. And you know, Tim, for so long, you could see how these people, once they win election, they don't care about their own, not the country they will care about. And the people now have water, but the state of the road to go there, it's another case. Now, if a candidate just coming on the scene, you did not have water for almost 40 years, maybe more than that, and he managed to make you get water. Tim, you don't believe you could have tried him as a young man? Huh?
Well, Colin, not on that basis alone. You see, here's what I'm telling you. I never doubt the people, you know, when they decide which individual they want to represent them in the island's parliament. It is for those people now to make an assessment of the performance of those people after they have voted for them, and next time around make a decision as to whether those people are deserving of a second opportunity. But I never second guess the people when they decide to vote for an MP or a government of their choice.
Because the reason why I say that, the female caller who called you and said that people don't care no matter what party did for them. They just speak one voice is for the Labour Party and they don't care. And she's so true, she's so right, the female caller. So I am saying this thing simply to show, no matter what you did to certain people, and look at the free constituency. You fought North, you fought South, and the Republic of Labrie. And look at the man who represents the Republic. If you go to Labrie, well, although Labrie has some place where somebody can verse artistically, the bamboo place and all of those places. But then check the state of the little village, the road after it's so narrow, and it has a pothole in it. And these people have dominating election, win after win, team, and you're not seeing the necessity of the win. They continue to win. I even doubt if the member for Labrie lives in Labrie. I doubt. Because I don't know why the persons that continue to play a loyalty for something they have no satisfactory, no benefit, they cannot charge. Look at Beaufort. And the guy's correct when he mentioned about the port. I think Beaufort has the largest port in the island, long built by the Japanese. and just sitting here doing nothing whatsoever. People of Beaufort have been loyal, and he mentioned a name with the guy is my good partner, the caller who called you and mentioned that particularly when they set up the concerned citizen group of Beaufort ready to march and everything. There was plan to develop Sandy Beach. If you go to Sandy Beach now, you swear if that's not a place if they're making cold there. So the trees before used to be trimmed very nice and paint and decorate the place as a tourism site. And check the state of the place now. It's like nobody cares for Beaufort when it was one time said Beaufort were the how do you call it the prime.
The pool. What's it?
There was a name, New Frontier for Development.
For opportunity.
For whatever it was. And it is true, Beaufort could have well developed for sure. You have an international airport, you have this huge cruise ship harbor dock just sitting there. I mean, and St. Vincent is just next door. You have this top hill Pirata, which give you a very good view when you could watch St. Vincent on the other side. And look at the state of Beaufort for 26 years representation. And you still, again, it's an election call. You have this same person continue again to give him another vote because he wants to die as an MP. He has a God that say I don't know. I said the last time and every time, Mr. Bermuda, the other time I would agree with him. And I don't know what is our problem, Tim. We don't believe in creative things. We don't believe changes. We don't believe in changes. Look at when there is no. We just don't believe in good things and good ideas. Timothy Poleon, I know he likes to see good things, and that doesn't have politics in it because everybody wants to see development in the constituency, in the country at large. But if you cannot do that, why vote in you there just to keep you there like a soccer boy, like Jugba saying, like a sagatin, make you feel good, proud, and while I'm Jugba, let me say congratulations for his 49 years, my good partner of that service. He's from Beaufort North. So I believe the people of Beaufort now should prepare a special program for him, for his outstanding serving, especially in the Creole fraternity. Tim, let me say thank you very much for the time. But again, I am appealing to St. Lucian. The buck stop with you. Politicians cannot be macho man if you don't make them be a macho man. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. We have another call. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin, you're there. Hello. I'm okay, caller. Good afternoon to you.
Tim, I want to touch on a few things here. And I heard there was a little bit of argument on that Constitution being our...
the CCJ?
The CCJ being our head of...
Our highest court.
Of highest court. Tim, I want to say something. I believe we should have lawyers, magistrates, judges coming at the forefront to educate the people as a safeguard, basically, to our Constitution. Because, Tim, we are one of those countries where we go to school, we attend school, and we are not taught our Constitution. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That means most of us are not okay with what is in the Constitution.
Most people don't even have a copy of the Constitution.
Exactly. It is like most people I know in St. Lucia that went to Beachcomber and bought a vehicle, knowing that when they drive it off the lot, it will depreciate. But how many of them that actually know why there's a depreciation? You understand? Or why would they have a warranty on that vehicle, a manufactured warranty on the vehicle, but it's also limited as to the mileage that you put on that vehicle? You understand? There is a lot of things, Tim. It's not big. It may look a certain way, or it may sound a certain way. It may appear a certain way. But, Tim, it's not always that, you know. And I'm saying that to say, Tim, in a democratic country, as much as people, government tend to think that they have the right to impose laws and regulations on the people as they see fit. Tim, the mandate is always the people. The people are the one who's always in charge. And unless we remove that mentality, because it's a mentality, you know, we all look at those guys as boss man.
In St. Lucia, the people are only in charge on election day. And they are made to feel that way as well. On the night of election,
we need to stop it, Tim.
After the votes have counted and there's been a declaration of a winner, and then you have a prime minister designate, automatically the people are just relegated to ordinary human beings who don't have a say.
Yeah, but that's the problem. And we cannot continue like that if you want to be a better country. You see, you cannot keep telling me that every young kid that is growing up have to go through that same hurdle, Tim. Tim, we need to take a stand. You see, those people that keep bawling out their eyeballs about certain issues, this is one of the issues that we have to take forward. Why not teach the Constitution in the schools? Why? Are we doing that to deprive the citizenry of not being educated as to their rights? Is that what's happening? You understand? Because we will go that back and forth with the gentleman. You will have to go back and forth. And it doesn't really go anywhere. And I understand where you're coming from. You know, however, he in his own right, he's looking at it on a different level. And I see that level also.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? But here's where the problem lies. Who are the watchdogs of our Constitution, Tim? You see where the problem is?
Yeah.
We don't have that, Tim.
Well, all of us should be paying attention to breaches of the Constitution. Eh?
Thank you very much. But how can you pay attention if you do not know when there is a breach of that Constitution?
Yeah.
You see where the problem is? So the lack of information, the lack of knowledge is where the problem lies. Now, this is where I am always calling for the transparency and the accountability. Because we cannot keep living like that, Tim, and expect one person to be doing the hard work and for all of us to enjoy it. However, if the people do not know better, for those that know better, why are we not teaching them? Now, Tim, I will go back. I know sometimes when I say that on the show, you don't like it, or sometimes you stay quiet. Tim, the people we have employed by to take care of our institutions. I'm not talking about the ministers. I'm talking about civil servants. Tim, the people keep failing. These civil servants keep failing the people. Most of our institutions, Tim, are not working properly. You know, there is something that most people tend not to understand, and I will talk to the people that are not in government. Those young guys that go to school and they get a job, and then they go to the banks to buy a car, whether those that get it from importing their own car, and they have to pay those duties on their car. Don't you see that it is unfair for a young man or any particular person to be paying those high cost duties, and another man, just because he's a politician, he gets to bring his car in for free? All of these perks that they keep giving these politicians in the country, these need to be eradicated, Tim. Because if you keep saying that we are a nation where we don't have the funding to even fix a roof in a school, or send a few kids to school because their parents are less fortunate, but you'll find that money to go to Dubai and sit in a high-end restaurant and have dinner on the country's pocket. You see that there is any fairness in that, Tim?
None at all.
You see, this is where we need to start. And unless we start tackling those issues, we cannot go anywhere. Now, I came across something from Bermuda, Tim, and I know Mr. Bermuda always call you and he always go along his line. But there is something that I noticed, and I go and I followed it a good bit of it. When they introduced that minimum wage thing, they introduced in Bermuda. You see, when you have a set of people that tend to have the same mindset or kind of the same goal, want to see things in a certain way in the country, Tim, like for better, not for worse, for better. The country tend to go in a forward movement quicker, because when you have a politician standing in front of millions of people in Bermuda and saying we have to get this done as soon as possible, because we're not doing it for us, we're doing it for the people of Bermuda. We want the people of Bermuda to have a higher standard of living. This is what you want to hear in the mouth of those people that we tend to elect every time, Tim, to represent us. And you had a word, to represent us.
But anyway, caller, what they normally do is to represent their own interest. Thank you so much for your contribution. Our NewsSpin question of the day: what does tall or short have to do with the high cost of living? What does tall or short have to do with the high cost of living? Our NewsSpin question of the day. Response: somebody says, on an interview, PJP said people call him a madman, and he was telling us the truth, but yet Lucians voted a madman, kinda. What the elite does, they tell you the truth, but people still ignore the truth. So why are we surprised by his lunatic statements? And another person says that's an easy answer. The prices are tall and the wages are short. Government ministers enjoy the security of an income while the poor suffer. That's the tall and short of it all. Another person says, the taller you are, the more money you will spend? Question mark. Another person says, time and time again, this Prime Minister is out to shame St. Lucians. His speeches are just complete and utter meaningless. Another one says, this is a Donald Trump syndrome that's going on in a PJP arena. And when the food prices are high, only the tall people can survive as they are able to reach it, not the short. When the prices are low, everyone is able to survive. Short and tall, they all can reach it. And let's see if you have another comment there. When is the name calling and bullying going to stop? No one should criticize anyone. We were not made perfect. Sometimes one can't accept themselves, so you do not expect them to love others. It is a shame and sad at the same time what the next generation is learning from the older generation. Kimani, in the chat room, a report from you.
Someone says, I'm not feeling sorry for the people of Labrie because they are voting for color and not for development. Someone says, gosh, how many fets or shows does St. Lucia have? My gosh, things are not hard, it seems. Someone says, you thought people should not need a visa to go America because they are in a state. Tim.
That's a strange one.
Tim, do you remember people took to the streets in protest of the CCJ, hence the reason for Who Black's song? Guess we need a bigger protest march to make the government understand. Someone says, what legal luminaries are you talking about, Tim? You are misleading people when you tell people that they can't do anything about the decisions by the government. It is incorrect to say that no one spoke on this issue when from day one you determined that regular citizens did not qualify to speak on the issue. As for stating that because of a 2/3 majority permitting the government to make whatever changes it wants to the Constitution, you are incorrect about that. You should be aware that the same thing happened in Jamaica and it was overturned by the Privy Council. I have challenged you to inquire from the other regional governments why they are not following the same routes as St. Lucia on the subject, so I hope to hear from you on it. Someone says some people are not voting for color, are voting for color and party and not for country. A few other comments in the chat room on Julian Alfred stating that she won her heat, or she came first in her heat.
That's the semi-finals of the 200 meters, and that's today. And you have another heat on Friday, and the finals is on Sunday. Yeah.
That's it in the chat room, Tim.
All right, thank you so much. Let me see if I have any of your WhatsApp messages to turn my attention to right now as we're getting all set to conclude our program via WhatsApp. What somebody is saying there, let me see. Okay, let's see there. Okay, let's see. I don't think we have any more of your WhatsApp messages to go through, so let me turn. All right, let's take a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You on the air?
Hi, Tim.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon to you.
Hi, Tim. I am protesting the high prices in the supermarkets.
Mm-hmm. Are you tall or short?
I am short.
Okay.
I can't reach the price. I can't reach.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and also the high employment, which the government is failing to address. Isn't that what our Prime Minister said when he was in opposition?
Yes.
Okay, so I am just saying now it's on the other foot, so now I am protesting those. And I'm very disappointed in the Prime Minister team. His address at the town hall. Our Prime Minister should be more mature. I think he's very petty, and like I said, he should be more mature in his thinking, because this is for little boys and little girls. That's not for somebody who's the Prime Minister of a country. I don't know. Tim, seriously, I don't even know what else to say about our Prime Minister. I don't know what else to expect. I don't know what else to say about him. But something else for the Labour Party, I realize they have painted everything red and white. All the railings by the school, by I think the Methodists in town, by the Crozile bus stand. I'm not sure if it's because of what they had today for emancipation, but I just want to remind them that by Camille Henry, it is still yellow and white, so they need to paint it red and white. Thank you, Tim.
All right, thank you so much. All right, somebody is trying to get the line, so we'll call him now via WhatsApp for just a few minutes, and then we'll turn our attention to our NewsSpin news of the day. Just a quick call, maybe for just about 2 minutes, and then we'll conclude the program. Rick, good afternoon to you.
Tim.
Hi, good afternoon to Rick. You just have about 2 minutes.
Well, thank you for calling me. I would need more than 2 minutes, so I'll try to call again tomorrow.
No, you have 2 minutes. Condense it. You can always condense it to 2 minutes, Rick.
Well, let me try.
Uh-huh.
But first, I must tell you this. My housekeeper just came in, and she told me she was in the grocery bus, and there was a woman quite agitated with her leg kicking off of the bus.
Mm-hmm.
And when she asked the woman why, the woman says she doesn't want to miss Rick Wayne on NewsSpin. So you have a grocery fan.
All right.
So I hope she's listening,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope she will call you sometime and tell you thank you for affording me that one. The other quick thing I want to say, Tim, have you heard the saying, first we kill all the lawyers?
No, I haven't heard this one.
You've never heard? That's a Shakespearean line.
Yeah, I've never heard this
But
one.
before I go into it, how many lawyers do you think of the lawyer population in St. Lucia you know, Tim? Either you know her personally or you know by reputation.
How many do I know?
Yeah, what percentage of the lawyers in St. Lucia you would think you know? By name or...
At least, what? At least 30%?
Good, 30%. How many of that 30% you suppose are politically connected, either as
SLP or UWP?
Well, in both parties.
Yeah, more than half. More than half.
Now, Tim, you know that thing I was telling you that first we kill all the lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
That came out of a Shakespeare play, where the ordinary workers, laborers, and so on, realized that they could not overturn the super class, the upper class, because the lawyers were supporting and helping the upper class, and that's where the saying come from. First we kill all the lawyers. Well, today I don't know if that's changed, Tim. I don't know if they're the same thing that they're there to protect the professionals, or what they do. I don't know, because most of the lawyers in this country seem to be politicians, which may explain a lot of our problems. You see what I mean when I say I don't have enough time?
Yeah.
Because I was going to give you enough proof of that. But finally, I'll just tell you this. You remember when Kenny Anthony in 2011 offered Stephen King an olive branch. In 2011, after he won the election, he offered Stephen King the olive branch.
Yeah.
Because he said that while in opposition, it occurred to him how unfair the system is to the opposition side.
I remember.
You don't remember that?
Yes, I remember.
Well, I will go into the details of that for you next time we talk, and why I was so impressed to see finally a politician swinging the Constitution around. Better late than never, because that Constitution, few people gave it the respect they should. But I'll call you tomorrow. I hope I get more time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Finally, from us, again, our NewsSpin news of the day. According to the UK's Guardian newspaper, lockdowns and face masks unequivocally cut spread of COVID. According to the UK's Guardian newspaper, lockdowns and face masks unequivocally cut spread of COVID. That's a broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Thank you so much for contributing via your calls, your WhatsApp messages, and your discussion in the chat room. My name is Timothy Poleon. Goodbye.